Okay. Hey, I had actually planned on making a completely different video like yesterday, right? But I was super sleep deprived. Video was going to be somewhat negative, but somewhat just, I want to say real, more so pointing at stuff that I was feeling based off of some things that I was seeing floating around like the internet and whatnot. But I decided to change it just because I've gotten sleep and don't really feel like I'm in that same mindset as before. So right now, I'm showing a clip or some footage from Grand Chase, and my friend and I have been playing it for a little while now. I've had a group of friends that I played Grand Chase with, and we've all played like since it was in its third to fourth season, like the original Grand Chase that came to North America. And they stopped playing after some time, but I was hopping through private servers. I was hopping on the game when it re-came out and then closed again and then re-came out, blah, 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 right? They played a little bit through some private servers, but not really. And over time, they just lost access to being able to play Grand Chase because everybody wants a MacBook, but MacBooks aren't necessarily the best devices for gaming. So that happened. But some of them are slowly starting to get back into it all again. And one of them specifically is on like, it kind of feels like we're on this race or this challenge against each other, which somewhat gets me in a mood to play it a little bit more. But to be honest, I don't really want to be burnt out from the challenge that we're facing. And also at the same time, I want to play other games because I have a handful of games on my computer that I just haven't really been devoting time into because of life in general. But I've been getting a little bit of a break from a lot of the heavier stuff that I've been having to deal with. And school is almost over. I still have exams and projects to finish, even more projects, believe it or not. And I really just want to spend this video talking about like the leveling process slash leveling guide that my friend and I have been discussing while like playing together, taking notes, giving each other tips and whatnot. Um, this is gonna be more so for people who are leveling characters who are not 85. All right, so this is like the leveling guide to jump from 1 to 85 in a day without spending any money whatsoever, like no real cash, right? Um, Outside of that, if you're at 85 and your chaser point level is higher than 100, or at least higher than like 70, by all means, give me guides. Like, help me. But this is for the people who are like under all that and who might be coming in for the first time, and or who took a huge break, who used to play it way back when, and now they're coming in and they make an account and they have all these free characters to use, and you realize that pretty much all it feels like a large part of the community is like over 85, so you're just not really able to experience anything with them, and it kind of feels like you're solo running everything. All right, this is for you. So essentially what's going on is, what on earth? Hold on. Oh, I tried to stop it, but I'm tabbed over somewhere. Hold on. Okay, I didn't listen to what I recorded last, so I'm just going to assume that I'm piggybacking. Ugh, I'm not editing that. Piggybacking off of everything that I have already said. So I'm basically just going to jump into it. This isn't going to be like a live action recording of me showing you everything. Instead, I'm just going to list them out based on how my friend and I were talking. If anybody wants a more in-depth or in-detail guide, then by all means, I'll give it to you. But I'll give it to you in a sense of I'll make a video like talking about it. I was thinking about making it with my friend, and we might, if not, then it'll just be me. But I decided that I wanted to upload something for this week at one point or another, and I guess this will be it. Right now, I'm leveling Mari. She's a 65. She will be my 10th level 85 character. I think there are like 20 plus characters total, like 22 maybe total right now. She will be my number 10 of that like 20 whatever characters that are in the game. So you can imagine that I have a pretty good understanding of leveling, but more so the reason why I wanted to like put my foot on the throat of it all is because today Mari is a level 65. I'm gonna get her to 85 in like the next hour. If not hour, then maybe hour and 30. A few hours ago, I got Decany to 85. Like yesterday, I got Siege Heart to 85. A few days before that, I got Rufus to 85. And then the characters that I got to 85 before that were like a week, 2 weeks, a month. It's like X amount of time ago because I took a break playing the game to play other games. And then around that same time is when the other friend came out of the blue talking about, oh my gosh, like the game's still up and running. I haven't really been able to play. I want to play. I got a laptop. Let's play. So I've been running with them. Essentially, though, all right. I'm just gonna get into it. Okay. The ways to basically boost your EXP. All right. When you are leveling a character, you have these missions. That's actually on screen. I didn't mean for that to be there, but you have these growth missions. It's usually at the bottom right corner of your screen whenever you get into the game. Whenever you finish something that mission's telling you to do, you can hit OK and it'll give you money. It'll give you VP, which is money that you actually have to like get by spending real life money on, essentially, right? But in this case, you don't have to spend any real life money. You just complete these missions and you get it. Every character has the same amount that you get once you like complete all the missions. You don't complete them all until 85, right? I think the total amount of VP you get per character is like 1,200, 1,500, something along that line, right? It's a little over 1,000 from what I can remember. So, okay, cool. So, if you were to translate that into real world money, I believe 1,000 VP is like $1, like $1. Might be a little more, might be a little less, because the battle pass is like 20K, which I believe is like $20. Might be a little more, might be a little less. I could be wrong. I haven't gotten the battle pass in a while. But essentially, these quests, every character has, you basically follow them all the way to 85. At a certain point, you will have enough VP to get essentially whatever you want. Well, no, okay, let's scratch that. Not whatever, right? You're not buying out the store. But I'm going to tell you what you need to get. All right? So you can get Premium GC Club, which is 1,000 VP. You can buy it in shop. It's on like the 6th page of the item mall when you're looking through like, I forgot what the tab is, right? But that's 1,000 VP, right? Premium gives like stat boost, EXP. Let's see. I'm like on Mario right now. It gives 10% increase to EXP as well as GP, 30% increase to item drops, an additional 10% attack, defense, and vitality. And one additional bonus in dungeons, except dungeons that do not allow resurrections. Cool, right? Cool. Okay, so GC Club helps out with EXP as well as bonus stats. Cool. All right. Because it's for a day, this is like maxing out your character without spending any money in a day, like speed running it, right? It doesn't take a full day. Depending on your character, depending on what you get, depending on how you play, it could, for me, it's lasted anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours or much longer, just based on like taking breaks, working on your job missions, working for other stuff as well. My friend, based on like our shared research, and he hasn't completely shared everything, but he has given some highlights. He's leveled Elysis, Liar, Arm, and Ronin to 85 in about roughly 2 to 3 days, right? And he'll be playing like 8 hours at a time, like sitting down, all right? And he'll take breaks too, as well. But, you know, that's just to give you the frame of reference. We're not on like super heavily 24/7 catching up with all the events and all this extra stuff. So you get the idea. Granted, for him though, he did buy the 4th jobs for each of like his characters because he put some money in. I put money in for other characters, but for the characters that I just told you that I leveled in the past X amount of days, not really any. I will admit though that if you want to ball and go all out for what I'm about to tell you for like building your character EXP wise, one of like your first character that you do this for probably isn't going to get all this stuff, but the next character will, and you just push that trend over because you're probably going to be short just a few amount of VP. It's up to you. All right. Premium GC Club is 1,000. It's 1,000 VP for one day. You can buy that and run through your dungeons. Right. You can buy the Ring of Beefiness. It's 800 VP from what I can remember. It gives you a 50% EXP boost. So that's your 50% EXP boost on top of the 10% EXP boost that the Premium GC Club gives you. That's 60% EXP that you get. It's 800 for one day. That is 1,800 VP that will basically max you from 1 to 85 in a few hours. And I've done it for several characters. Once my friend was talking about it, I started doing it as well. It looks like I'm about to do it in this recording. Okay, so those are those two things, right? You can get those from the mall. You get the money from running quests. If you just say it's one specific character you want to get to max level, right? You just got in the game. You played it way back when. You really want to experience this one whatever with whatever character, right? You can hop on several other characters that you know you're not going to play anytime soon, that you don't want to devote any power, energy, or money into. Play their base quests until like level 15, level 20. Get that VP because VP is account shared, and then hop over to the character that like you actually like, and use it to pay for the stuff for the character that you really want to max out. Right? All that accumulated VP will definitely be enough, but Premium GC Club's going to be 1,000. All right. The Ring of Beefiness, I'm pretty sure is 800. And then this new thing, which isn't new to the game, but it's new to my strategy, is buying Blacksmith's Protection, which should be on the same page as Premium GC Club in the item mall. It basically lets you wear gear that's weapons and armor included that are 10 levels higher than your actual character's level, which basically means that you will be a level 70 hitting level 80 enemies as if you were a level 80. Now, that's not exactly what it is, but it does essentially give that kind of effect, right? You'll be able to run harder dungeons at a lower level, and it'll, depending on how you play, it could be beneficial. I find it beneficial, right? So like running dimensional doors for higher levels while I'm a lower level but have higher gear, you're 9 times out of 10 going to come out a higher level much quicker, right? Running higher level dungeons at a lower level repeatedly, if that's what you want to do, will help you level up easier because you're killing those enemies in that level range pretty fair, right? So that would be the GC Club Premium, that would be the Ring of Beefiness, and that would be Blacksmith's Protection. Those three altogether will cost you almost or roughly 2,000 VP. I think it's perfect. But honestly, my friend and I were able to level up pretty quick in a day without Blacksmith's Protection and with just GC Club Premium and the Ring of Beefiness. And both of those, all of those, you can get from the VP that you use from just playing the game. You don't have to spend a dime. All right? So, that's that. For me, personally, I'm going to get into some of the things that definitely do help, and then some of the ways, or the main way that I play through the leveling process. Okay, titles. Titles give extra EXP boost. As you can see, Rufus has, I think it's the Kaze title. The higher the level of the dungeon, the more stats you're probably going to get for that title. And it's not just like attack and defense and health. You'll get stats like EXP or maybe even GP gain. So running a higher level dungeon like 2 or 3 times gives you the chance at getting more EXP rather than just running it once and leaving. But that's all up to you and what you find as a priority. And runes. There are some runes that give EXP boost. Runes, I think for the most part, are just random. Like the drops are random, so you'll never know what rune you get until after you get it, and you don't really get runes until level 54, so 53, 54. So that's all more so like a by chance thing, but if you do end up getting some that actually benefit, then hey, it's free. It's free real estate. That's free EXP in that time. All right. Okay. So that's Ring of Beefiness, Premium GC Club, Titles, Blacksmith's Protection, and Runes. Cool. Say you want to work on another character after your first one, right? Like, say you actually want to level in a day and you follow this and you want to work on another character after your first one. Your chaser point level is pretty beneficial. You can use those points to give yourself like an account wide EXP boost. And there's this side thing that you can get. It's in your character collection when you open up your menu of the game. Basically, getting every character all of their jobs gives you a huge increase in stats, which makes clearing dungeons easier, which means leveling up's going to be easier. So I'm trying to level up the characters that have the better stats that I think I would end up like relying more on, or leveling up characters that I think would be a little more interesting to level up, so that the characters that I don't find interesting will have all those bonus stats for when I use them. But there's also this secondary stat where if you have 10 characters at level 85, essentially you get like a 2.50% EXP boost, which you're probably thinking is not a lot, but at this point, any EXP is great, like coming in for you, right? My chaser point level is like 27. But if you finish the quests, like at the bottom right that I was telling you about earlier, if you finish them for however many characters, that means A, you've already got those characters to 85. There's like a 50-50 chance you actually worked on getting their jobs, which would be B. And then C, they give you extra chaser points. So even though my chaser level is like 27, I actually have like 56 chaser points. And how do you level up your like chaser point level? That's what I'm saying. Like, send me a video, help me figure it out. I've seen that if you're just running hero dungeons and some of those bigger dungeons, then you got a pretty good chance of leveling them up, like through the battle pass system. Definitely helps. But I think I've seen some people just grinding dungeons as if they were just leveling normally, and I usually see the EXP bar run like very slow in that process. So please, like, enlighten me on that. But onto my play style, right? Like my personal one, I do dimensional doors once per map. So dimensional doors doesn't open until I think the Partuse C map, which is roughly when you're hitting like level 40 or you're turning into a 40, but like you're mid 30. So I'll run that first dungeon that opens up the map. Then I'll run DD. I'll run DD once because they've capped it now. You can only run it for 15 minutes. Once I'm out, I run every dungeon once and then move on to the next map and repeat. Why? Because every dungeon's first, like the first time you run a dungeon, it gives you two quests, usually two quests. The first quest is experience the dungeon. That quest, usually the EXP is phenomenal, right? It's enough to push your EXP bar from like 20% to like 70% or 80%, right? And then a secondary quest after that creeps the EXP bar either from like whatever percentage I just said to 90%, or creeps it from whatever percentage I just said to the next level. And that happens a lot. Now, as of late, I've been seeing that my characters will be one level under the dungeon that requires you to level to be. I don't stress about that as much. If it's something that bothers you, instead of rerunning DD, run one of those other dungeons once. It should tip you over, finish it, and then jump to the next map and continue. So, for example, if you don't feel comfortable being level, 50 at the end of the 40 map, then play until you hit 50 and then hop over. So on and so forth, so on and so forth. But that's just how I do it, right? I run them all once and run DD once, hop over to the next map. I realize that my EXP gain is going to be different from somebody who doesn't have chaser point levels. It's going to be different from somebody who doesn't have all 10 characters, which I don't have all 10 85 yet. I'm working on that as well. I realize it's going to be different from people who don't have specific titles. I realize it's going to be different for people who don't get like whatever rune at whatever time. I understand that, but as far as I've seen, the method overall doesn't really seem to change much. You're still getting EXP pretty great. Um, Something else towards leveling that I wanted to add in is that hero dungeons give crazy EXP, like crazy EXP. I was a level 83. I ran Crucible and Sanctum of Destruction, and I was a 83 at like 20% EXP. I ran Crucible, I ran Sanctum of Destruction. By the time I finished, I was a level 85. No, I was an 84 at like 60% EXP. I ran Wizard's Labyrinth, and with each of these dungeons, when you run them once, you get a quest per dungeon. The quest gives you no EXP and it gives you no money, but it does give you some materials that you can use later on when you want to craft good gear, right? Um, Regardless, I ran Crucible, Sanctum of Destruction, and Wizard's Labyrinth. I ended up getting an extra quest for Wizard's Labyrinth. I don't know where it came from. I don't even know what it was about. I didn't even know I had it. But by the time I finished running those three dungeons, I jumped from 83 at like 20% EXP to max level. And if you have those hero dungeon tickets, you can just keep running hero dungeons. So staying in dimensional doors at like level 82 or 83, trying to like pass over just a little bit, isn't necessarily necessary. I am finding out you can really just farm hero dungeons if you have the hero dungeon tickets. Um, so yeah, that was something that would have definitely helped like way back when, because I think hero dungeons are easier and more digestible when you're running them on repeat than dimensional doors. But I have ran dimensional doors before. Uh, I knew about the hero dungeon thing, and even then, I kind of found that running airness, like Relics of Kunat, the level 85 dungeon at the end of the 80 map, running that like 2 to 3 times gives you extra airness gear, but also gives you a reasonable amount of EXP once you finish. Um, it might not in general. Just for some reason, I noticed at one point I jumped from 82 to almost 84, running it 3 times. And 2 of those times I ran it with another player. It was a Lime. I don't know if she had anything to do with boosting my EXP, but it was super beneficial. And that's pretty much it, EXP wise. I made like this little mini guide that I was like showing to my friend. Hopefully, they will give me their feedback. And like I said, if anybody wants a more in-depth, detailed guide, then I'll explain it. But the mini guide helps with EXP farming a bit for gear once you're in that 80 to 85 range. More so, yeah, I guess that 80 to 85 range. And also, Cordy. I don't think Cordy gives EXP. You might find some that do, or you might be able to stat reset or whatever. But I'm assuming that if like you're new coming in, you're probably not gonna have that. So this is just more so for like the people who are new or the people who just don't completely like have it all down yet. And those are the people that like I wanted to reach out to, because I know coming in, a fun game, missed it. It's been a while, but there are definitely like a handful of things I just did not understand, or just didn't get, or maybe I did get but wanted to figure out how people were able to do this so fast or do that. I've seen people talk about certain YouTubers who spend like crazy amounts of money. I've seen all kinds of stuff, man, and I just wanted to give like my little take, and feel free to correct me or educate me or um, change my mind about something, because I'm always down to learn and listen. But yeah, my friend told me that working towards your class, like your second class, third class, fourth class, helps you level up a little bit easier as well. Once again, his fourth class was paid, so maybe if it was just a normal fourth class mission, he probably would have jumped an extra 2 to 3 levels because you do more work. But in my experience, stuff like that, like I said, can be draining and can burn you out if your main goal is just to hit 85. So you're doing everything that you can to level up in such a short amount of time. So I wouldn't really want to push you or point you away from it all, but I just wanted to give you some of like the tips and stuff that I've been seeing that I thought were pretty helpful. Like I said, if I need to go in depth or really like expand on something, then I can record it all in real time and talk about it. And I've been thinking about that because I still have like at least 12 other characters that I could level up from scratch to show. But yeah, I've got like 23 more hours left for my Ring of Beefiness, Premium GC Club, and Blacksmith's Protection to run out. So I am going to finish Mary, however you pronounce her name, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, eat my balls.